Hey! Welcome to Beyond the Digital, darling.
A sneak peek behind the scenes at Beyond the Dawn.
Banter and all.
So get cozy, strap in, grab a brew, and enjoy. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Digital, darling. Today we are joined with my gorgeous friend and long-time client, Santra Ten Hoope. Welcome, darling.
Thank you so much for having me. Of course, I've been enjoying this podcast. Obviously, I have. And I'm well honored to be a guest now. Because, this year has been so obviously stressful, trying to sell a house, trying to set up a podcast, luckily under your supervision. And there's them days that I'm like, oh gosh, I could really use a good laugh and a good chat, and I put on one of your episodes and I'm good to go.
Oh, I love that.
That's so good to hear.
Yeah, that's kind of what we wanted, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we felt like our office on the day-to-day when we're working, first of all, we felt like we had the dynamic between a comfortable, enjoyable workplace and being very efficient and productive, pretty much down pat. We almost like invented the concept, we felt. And then we also felt that we were quite entertaining. And at a certain point, we decided that we might go live on TikTok and let people in, break that fourth wall, if you will, and let people see what it's actually like behind the scenes. But the problem was, we have so many conversations through the day that are protected for our clients' security, confidential things that we talk about in regards to sales measures, metrics, statistics, and then, personal stuff, because better than most, what we do is storytelling. So we do get to know our clients on a personal level. And we need to talk about that stuff. We need to make sure that we are communicating throughout the team. So we found ourselves, we did it a few Fridays, didn't we? I found myself pausing the sodding broadcast over and over so that we could have these open conversations. And that's when we realised that actually this is not the right medium. And although TikTok is fantastic for that, we have to protect our clients' integrity. And this gives us the perfect opportunity to still break that fourth wall, invite people in without compromising how we take care of our people. So yeah, we've been really loving it. But we hoped that it would sound exactly like you were just a fly on the wall in the office. That's what we wanted.
Yeah, I think especially for online business entrepreneurs or anyone who works by themselves, I don't miss the 9 to 5 in the office. I never will. But I do miss a bit of chit chat and a bit of fun. And I think that's what you bring to us, that we can tap into whenever we feel a bit lost and lonely. Because I've heard also from so many other entrepreneurs, try to explain to your family and friends what you're doing. Because most of them are, employed in corporate or elsewhere, and they don't really get it. And so it's, you can chat to them about what you're doing, but it doesn't really resonate. So it's great that there's ladies like you, and you bring the behind the scenes to us, especially in an online world that seems to be so glim and glam and easy and all that. And I'm like, nah, it's not like that. Yeah. At times it's a struggle, at times it's sheer fun, but it's a combination of ups and downs, and that's not touched upon. It's like people would say, okay, and then you just do a podcast. It's like you would just, it's not like speaking into your mobile phone, just doing a live. It takes a lot of organization, it takes a lot of equipment, it takes a lot of systems, and people don't realize.
Yeah, that's true. That's really true. I think more people than I expected listen to this particular podcast in their car. I thought that you'd probably play this podcast when you're working and have us in the background, almost like you are with the team. Do you know what I mean?
Like we're in the room.
Yeah, like we're in the room. And I think perhaps people do both. But when we first launched it and we had maybe 6 or 7 episodes go out over a period of a couple of weeks, people were messaging me and saying, oh my God, I listened to you on this long road trip to wherever. And I was thinking, oh, that's so strange that you would listen to us in your car, but people love it and enjoy it. And, I genuinely don't care where you're listening from, as long as you're comfortable and enjoying what you're hearing.
You've all been with me on so many bus trips, just sort of the school run. Obviously, Tony, whom you've met now, he's 14, but at times he likes me to, bus along a bit. And then on the way back, I listen to you guys. And it's just, because honestly, you're way too interesting to listen to just have you on in the background when I'm working. And this may sound odd. My main day activity is a corporate project. I'm also a compliance officer, freelancing for a major bank, and I tend to do that to Midsummer Murders.
Oh, really?
Bit of a weird combination. Nothing as inspiring to work through a file than a nice murder. But that truly works for me.
Yeah, brilliant. Nice. We find that we have background noise as well, don't we? We don't really listen to podcasts, that's awful to admit, but we don't really listen to podcasts in the background, but we sometimes will play music for each other through Alexa, and then occasionally we'll plug in individually and we might have either some music playing or a program playing in the background. I had a friend of mine recently, we were talking about business, we were talking about teams and employing people and stuff, and when I explained that we sometimes do that, like, I can't remember what episode Emily was on in terms of Grey's Anatomy, but we were talking about Grey's Anatomy, and I remember that day because Ailey was on one episode, I was on a different episode, Emily was on a different episode, and we just broke off for a minute and we were having a conversation, and Emily was like, wait, which episode are you on, Dawn? To make sure that there was no spoiler. And we were all basically watching different episodes of Grey's Anatomy on our phones whilst also working. And I explained this to my friend because it was a funny story, right? Like, it was so cute that we were like, oh, wait, before we spoil this for Dawn. And they were like, you let your team watch episodes whilst working? And I'm like, oh, I forget. In corporate neurotypical land, that's not a thing. But in magical Willy Wonka, Alice in Wonderland, ADHD, Beyond the Dawn land, if we don't have our concentration distraction, if we don't have our entertainment background audio, if you know what I mean, if we don't have these other things in place, you might actually find that we're not as productive. We get set into a task. It doesn't change the quality of our work. In fact, there's evidence to suggest it might actually improve the quality of work.
I'd say so, as a client.
And it's never been a distraction in a negative.
No, I wouldn't say so. No, it's only like if you were at home, it's only like having the TV on in the background.
Right.
Just as a bit of background noise.
Right.
While you work away.
I remember when I was a teenager, I do my homework in front of the telly, often while speaking to a friend on the phone and having an ear on the radio, because them days you had to, record your songs on the cassette. And I was doing all that whilst my mum would come in and, say things, and, it would just be a wavelength thing that you would know whether you would have to say yes or no. You had no clue actually what she was saying. And I would have friends and they, tell me about whatever was happening. Well, usually it was about, did you see that boy? Did he look at me? Did you think he looked at me? Did you think, and I wish to say that mid-50s I'd improved on that. No. But there you go. And I would have a proper conversation with her, and then she'd ask me 20 minutes later, so what did you study? I said, well, I did about 30 Latin words, while still doing all them things. And it was so normal to me, and I had no idea that it had to do with neurodivergence at that time. But now I do. And then I went into corporate. I had to be in an office all the time. And sometimes they'd have a radio on, sometimes they wouldn't. And that really did me in, and I never understood why. But now, when I usually work from home, I'd have the TV, I'd have maybe also a podcast going on, chatting to someone from the office. And on a Thursday, we have the in-office day, and I can't get anything done. That's really my meeting people, but not thinking. Don't make me think about the file while I'm in that office.
Right.
Because I just can't.
Yeah, it's too difficult in those circumstances, isn't it? It's like I used to, when we were building our in-person days, and don't get me wrong, there's one day that is a bit more presenty, which is our CEO day. And that is very specific now. But what I used to do is I used to try and make them all like CEO day, didn't I? Where you would come to meet me, I would stand at the front, I would go through each and every section. And actually, CEO day, even though it's structured, there's quite a few fluid sections in it to make sure it's not all presenty. But back in the day, I used to make them so structured.
Yeah, regimented.
Oh, they were regimented. They were time blocked. And don't get me wrong, people would be so happy at the end of them. They would be, value, they would get value from them. But everybody was so tired. And I really genuinely didn't realise how many people would go away, and I'd filled their brain with so much information. And yet they'd not been able to communicate with anybody else in the room. They hadn't connected with other people in the room. There was a real missed opportunity of just allowing people to casually absorb the people around them in terms of maybe networking or friendship, whatever you want to call it, connection. And I was missing that, wasn't I? I was trying to make it, and we did one in Manchester this one time, and it was like boom, 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 and everybody was sat around this big table, and it was fabulous. It was a great day, but at the same time, it just didn't hit. So when I do my VIP days now, like the one in Ibiza, it's so much more fluid. How good was Ibiza?
Yeah, it was really good.
It was
everything
so
just
good.
flowed.
I had a framework, and I presented the opportunity for that. Considered framework, like this is what we should be talking about now, guys. And I allowed the people who had bought a ticket to adopt or not that framework. They've paid, it's their day. They choose. If they spend all day chatting like friends and they don't talk about the things that I think is relevant for them to talk about, or they don't ask me the questions that I believe will give them the value, it's their day. Not to waste, but to do whatever they want. And it worked beautifully, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so good, Sandra. People just chatted. By the end of the day, the order of things that we were supposed to talk about, absolutely not. Did not happen. But did we actually talk about everything we needed to talk about? Did we approach everything? Were the questions asked that were the most valuable? Yes, 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 and yes. And more importantly, everybody connected. It was like friends going out for dinner and just spending the day together. It was
everybody had a good time.
Oh God, it was great.
I saw the pictures, and it looked so relaxing.
So
and
we're doing it again.
We're
doing it again. It was that well received. We've not even had to wait till next year. We're doing it again next month. But honestly, so much fun. So much fun. I mean, we were still tired, but we were the same level of tired as if we'd have gone out and spent the day with our friends.
Yeah, but we were all out in the sun as well.
Yeah, it was glorious.
Yeah.
Good food, good wine, good cocktails.
Yes.
Sunshine, sea, sand.
Nothing else.
What else would you need?
Well, there's another S that usually goes on the end of that, but it wasn't that kind of day.
Yeah, well, and if you was to invite Idris Elba for me,
I'll check my little book of Hollywood men, see whether I've still got his number. Yeah, interesting. I do think it is, sometimes letting go can be one of the most beautiful things, like the control. The control.
I feel like because everybody was in that space and they could let go, everything just flowed.
Yeah. I was really nervous as well, wasn't I?
Everyone got into a good mindset.
I was so nervous. I was more nervous than I would have been if I'd have been up professionally structured presenting, because I wasn't sure whether we would just chat the day away, which also is so silly because the cost of the ticket, it gives us nothing as a company. So it's not even like somebody could come to me and say, Dawn, you didn't deliver, blah, 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 because you got what you paid for. Like, just turning up, you already got what you paid for. There was no other expectation landed on it, but I was nervous. I wasn't sure how it would go. It was marvellous. Absolutely marvellous.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant day.
Yeah. So I do get what you mean, like going in on those Thursdays. Better to connect with the people, be in the energy of the people, than try to focus on the cases, right?
It doesn't work for me. And then some said, yeah, but we used to do this like every day in the old days. And I was like, yeah, that's sort of why it never really worked for me, the corporate life now. It started to work for me a bit more as I'm working from home. But obviously, I'm still, making my way into the online space as a main source of income. Because I'm a freelancer. It gives me a bit more distance from the office politics, so to speak. I have a task, which is to keep the bank safe. And I'll do anything for it, speak to anyone about it, because I don't have to make friends. But still, I dance to their tune. I dance to their files, I dance to their systems, and I'd rather dance to my own stuff.
Yeah. I get that. I do. I think freelancing and having opportunities to do things like that in a flexible way is so good whilst you're building things up. Like, I didn't leave my job when I started my business for over a year. Like, I stayed with it, and I only worked part-time, but it was just a little bit of stable income. The work that I was doing at the time was very easy to me. I'd been in the job for a little while. I understood what I needed to do. The team I was working with were a lot of fun, and I enjoyed their company for a couple of days a week, and there was no reason not to have both happen alongside each other. It was great. And a lot of people that go into building their own business sometimes think that they have to quit.
Yeah, but how do they end up feeling like that? Because there's business owners out there who just say to their face, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. And that puts people off. Because whilst you're mixing and matching, trying to find your way into business, be it offline or online, but obviously we know a lot of online business owners. And you still need security from a job or any other source of income. And then you're being told, because they didn't take, the big leap, jump completely, that they're less than and that your business is a hobby.
Yeah.
That puts people off big time, because what I've learned, there's a lot of uncomfortable stuff going on in corporate that can, affect you. But nothing affects you as much as financial insecurity.
Yeah. I would agree.
So, just make sure if there's a way through a job or any other source of income other than what you're building, that make sure that you have a house, that make sure that you and your kids are fed. That's the security you need to have the creativity to build the business.
Right.
Without security, how are you going to be creative? So let's all just starve to that, and from there build a 6, 7, 8 figure business. Really? But they put people down. I've lost friends over this. Well, supposedly friends in the online market, because I addressed this.
Yeah.
Whatever, good riddance. But these are at times very influential people with a lot of followers. And they buy into this crap.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
Yeah. It's strange, isn't it? It's a slightly, maybe not an ethical practice, but there's an integrity that comes with being an influencer, and you don't have to have a deal with Amazon to be an influencer. If you put something on social media and somebody is affected by it, you are influencing. And I think this is something like, I don't have a brand deal, so I can say anything I want online and it won't make a difference. Actually, no. People follow you and are looking to you, so that responsibility is automatically already there.
Yeah.
So it's okay to have an opinion, but just recognise that those opinions affect somebody. And I'm not one for censorship, as you both well know. But I do think that there is a level of, responsibility is probably the right word, but also kind of like care.
Yeah.
To the end point, what does it matter to you if somebody else has a job or an income at the same time? It doesn't hurt you. Like, what's it got to do with you?
It usually starts to matter to them if you do not wish to sign up for their signature.
Oh, yeah. So this
five-figure program.
Right.
So if you're like, no, that's not financially an option for me right now, then they go like, well, that's because you're not building your business properly. That's because you have a hobby. No, I ain't going to give you $5,000. And then they burn you down.
It breaks my heart, that, because one of the things that I pride myself on, and I've always felt very comfortable with, I mean, I'm just preaching to the converted here, darling. People who buy from me enjoy buying from me, but also equally feel comfortable, totally comfortable saying, I'm sure this is wonderful, but it's not for me this time, darling. Yeah. And I'm always like, great, my love. Speak to you again, whenever. We'll chat again about normal life or whatever. Yeah. And like, sometimes I'll get clients who are like, really loved this, and this. Not going to join you on this one, but let me know when the next thing comes out. I want to be aware of what you're bringing out, because this one doesn't quite fit, or I'm too busy, or whatever. We have lives. We have other things going on. It's not always going to be a perfect fit, and nor should it be.
No.
And I've never, ever taken offence to somebody not purchasing. There is something I take offence to, though. Let me hold my hands up. Let me be completely honest here, because I think this is important to be honest. That being said, what I do dislike, and I find this difficult, is when somebody comes to me and says, right, Dawnnie, I'm interested in this offer. And then we'll have a call. And throughout the call, everything they're saying is right for me to be able to help them. And then we chat about financial situation, because I always like to check that somebody can actually afford it and is not going to put themselves in any bother, because I can't live with that. I wouldn't sleep at night. And no, I've got the money, no problem. And I'm actually looking to spend this money in this area. I can help them. Check. This would be a joyful purchase for me. Check. I'm excited about this. Check. So then I'm like, right, fine. And then they go away and they come back, oh, Dawnnie, I've just got a couple more questions. No problem. Answer questions. And in my mind, whether the clients realise it or not, I'm already planning out how I'm going to help you. Yeah. And there has been times where that's gone on for weeks, hasn't it? Mm-hmm. By the time they come to me and say, oh, Dawn, I've decided I'm not going to go with it, I've built it. I've already built it. I can't help myself. My heart's already in it. And if I know I can help you, I know that you have the financial energy that you're actively looking to spend. Usually at this point, we've easily spent somewhere between an hour to 4 hours chatting back and forth to make sure it's the right fit. And it is the right fit, and it's the right time, and the financial energy is right, and there's no reason not to do it other than potentially your fear of success, which is what I liken this down to. And then you quit on yourself, because you're not quitting on me. You're not quitting on me. I'm going to run the program anyway. I'm going to help 7, 8, 15, 50, 1,000 other people, depending on which offering it is. But that hurts me, because how many times have you and I had this conversation where 12 months later, I can't help myself. I'll go back and I'll check on that person, and they're in the exact same place. They've not emotionally moved. They've not energetically moved. They've not intellectually moved, because it's not just about the money. I'm talking about the whole, growth. it breaks my heart. I find it really difficult because I'm just like, I could have helped you.
Yeah,
you could have taken because you level. Care. And unfortunately, those things occur. And I do hope that, at some point you realize that there should be boundaries in place on the sort of
the exchanges,
investigation exchange.
Yeah. We have put some in place, haven't we? We started charging for discovery calls.
Yeah.
So you had to pay £50. I mean, it's nothing, but you had to pay £50 to have a discovery call with me. And if you take the package, then the £50 comes off.
Yeah.
And if you don't take the package, I make sure that I give you enough advice, support, or signpost you that's £50 well spent. So there's always value no matter which way you cut it. And it did piss a couple of people off.
Yeah, a few people weren't happy about that.
Yeah, but the majority of the people that it sounds awful, but it was another qualifying factor,
of course,
in the people who were ready.
Yeah. But still, ultimately, at the end of such a road, when you realise that you invested a lot that didn't take you up on the offer, I can't see you shouting at them, saying,
"Oh God, no!"
saying this is just a hobby, unfriending you.
Oh God, no!
And making one of them, gosh, you won't believe what happened to me today. Supposedly not exposing who you are, but making it very easy for people to realise it's about you.
That's a hard thing. Yeah, I hate that behaviour.
And that's by people who, by their own saying, and by the number of people that you've been in a group with. So if you can do the math, they should be established also financially. You wouldn't think someone at that level would stoop so low.
But that's desperation, right? Like, we've, again, getting totally vulnerable here and totally honest, there are some months where we're not cash rich. Cash flow for us can sometimes be a problem. It only takes 2 or 3 of our clients to be late on invoices. It causes problems, and it's the same for everybody. Yeah. I was watching a video the other day, and this gentleman, I'm so sorry, I don't know his name, but he was talking about his, he basically has 1,500 members of employed team over, I can't remember what he said, maybe 12 or 13 different locations. And he was honest exactly like this. On the outside, I'm incredibly established. Everybody looks to me as a successful business owner. And some nights I cry myself to sleep because it only takes for 4 or 5 of our people not to pay. And we have a massive wage bill before anything else. Then we have all of our locations, rents, electric and gas, Yeah. And people look to me and expect, because of my level, that I don't have the same problems as everybody else. But actually, you have the exact same problems no matter what size of business you are. You just add a few zeros on the end of the issue. And I thought that's so honest of him, because people do the same thing with us, don't they? We've actually had this, Sandra, where somebody chose not to pay an invoice. We'd done the work, we delivered, they'd admitted they were happy with the work, they used the work that we created, and then did not pay the invoice. And the response we got to our, this isn't fair, this is actually theft email was, you don't need it, company your size doesn't need it.
I'm gobsmacked. I mean, it doesn't matter how big a company is, if you buy into a service or a product, be it your local bakery, be it McDonald's, be it an agency like yourselves, be it a very expensive car dealer, whatever it is, pay.
Yeah. And I can guarantee it doesn't matter whether it's Ferrari or us or McDonald's, we need it.
Yeah. Everybody needs it.
If everybody else had that mindset to say, like Ferrari, if somebody said, I don't need to.
But would they like to get paid by their client or maybe their employer if they're still employed? I guess they would.
Oh, yeah.
If everybody did that, Ferrari wouldn't be in business.
Right.
Exactly.
And I think this is the strange thing, isn't it? Like, if you look at business, regardless of its size, its stature, and its established years under its belt, at the end of the day, if they have 1 employee, they need it. Because that's somebody's living wage, whatever that may be, that is reliant upon
Yeah, exactly.
You know, now as a company, did it put us under that person not paying their invoice? Absolutely not. However, it made a massive impact on me, the thought that anybody would do that. And what was interesting was this particular person was funded by the National Lottery in the UK. So they had an abundance of finances, but not just a case of an abundance of finances that had been granted to them, but a requirement to use a certain amount of the funds on certain things. So essentially, they could go and do this again and pay somebody else again where they hadn't paid us. Very, very difficult situation. But yeah, it's you're quite right. When somebody doesn't want to buy with me, even in those circumstances where I'm kind of like, oh my gosh, I know I could help you, and this physically hurts me to watch you walk away from yourself and your own potential, I would never be angry. In fact, sometimes to my own detriment, I can't help myself, and I'll send an email and say, okay, you're not working with me. Unfortunately, in my head, I've already woven a bit of a framework. If I were you, I would concentrate on this, and this. Good luck to you. You know, like I can't help myself. As far as I'm concerned, you're not paying me, but the work's already done.
But you're leaving them better than you found them.
And that's our motto. Yes, Natty Boo. Yes.
I love that.
That's our motto. We leave you better than we found you.
Yeah, whether you buy something or not, you still leave it better than you found.
Absolutely, because it's not about you having to buy our stuff. Our impact goes so much further than that. Don't get me wrong. Every single client that spends financial energy with us, we expand that and we take that resource and we help more people off the back of that. So when people do spend money with us, more people get helped for free.
Yeah.
Because we're able to take that resource from the few and give to the many, which makes us sound a bit like Robin Hood.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not stealing from the rich to give to the poor. That's not the right analogy, but we're doing something similar. We're collectively together taking the resources of, you know, a group of absolutely extraordinary women and helping more.
Yeah.
And it's not just us. We couldn't do it without our clients. If we didn't have those financial transactions occurring, we couldn't help as many people as we do. Mm-hmm. Such a beautiful thing. This is why I think when women come together and we connect with each other and we take care of each other, we do a bloody good job.
Yeah, we certainly do. There's so many women out there and they're hesitant to charge. But if they do, then that money, well, for starters, it's a fair energetic exchange for the service that they're providing, but they could pool money and help others who wouldn't be able to, for now, give an exchange in money. But there is always an energy attached. Even if you were to help someone for free, then you get something back. Mm-hmm. As I'm selling up my house, I'm giving away a lot of free stuff. Furniture, accessories, kitchenware, anything. And I put it on the Dutch equivalent of eBay and they can pick it up for free. Mm-hmm. And then some people come and some give me a small thing like a bottle of wine and some say, nice. I'm ever so sorry, I have nothing to give you. I said, yes, you do, because you give me space in this house, which I need.
Yeah.
There's always something. They give me space.
Yeah.
So there's never nothing in an exchange.
Yeah, I love that. I do love that because it makes such a difference. It makes a massive difference. I think when you're not in a place of desperation and you actually can recognize opportunities to give, it's actually a really, really beautiful mindset to be in.
Yeah.
I do think one of my kind of top tier wants is to be able to give. So just to give you an understanding where this has come from, because I know that sounds a bit random. My sister is doing her master's degree in psychology right now. Gillian, she's amazing. And she took some time with me and my other sister, Susan, The other week, we just took an hour or so together, and there was some assessments that she needed to do. She needed to practice them as part of her assessment. So she's assessing us to be assessed herself, if that makes sense. It's a bit like Inception, but she needed real humans to do these exercises with, and see how they went. And you know how I love a visualization or a future memory visualization. I like to do them during my challenges, and I do that kind of thing. Well, hers was a very similar kind of thing. It was scripted and written slightly differently, which was interesting to me because obviously it's different to how I would do it. Excellent. Enjoyed the fact that I saw that different kind of change. But you had to ask these questions of us, and she was asking us to dig deeper and dig deeper and dig deeper. And that was really good because it forced you to evaluate what the end point of the need came from. So she asked me to visualise I woke up this one day, what does my bedroom look like? Who do I live with? I could see my bedroom, and even though as I'm telling you, I can see it in my mind's eye, I could see my bedroom exactly how I wanted it to be laid out. I walked downstairs and Adrian was in the kitchen, and there was this open plan kind of conservatory area that was just gorgeous of this lovely house. And I sat and drank a coffee, and I all of it was just so clear in my mind. And Brinkley was there, and I'm a bit older, but Brinkley was there. I let the dog out, and there was a nice garden, and I could see the garden, and it was really, really good. And then she was like, okay, and why does the house look the way that it looks? And I'm like, well, the house looks the way that it looks because there's extra bedrooms, and there's a big kind of kitchen dining area with a table that allows for the whole family either side, and all of the grandkids, and do you know what I mean? All the extended family, so that we can have gatherings. And I was thinking about you guys, and when you guys have children, and and then she was like, and why is it like that? And why is it like that? And why is it like that? And it boiled down to my actual dream. And what was really interesting was we were in the UK. Now, usually when I imagine my future, I'm abroad. It's the first time that I visualized being maybe 20 years older than I am now, and actually was living in the UK. Right, so that's different.
On your farm.
It was basically the farm idea that we've talked about before, but it was like a smaller version of. It wasn't like a mansion that we were in. It was just a house that was big enough for us to give. It was a house big enough to house the family, to have quality time with the people we love, to have everybody together. So ample space around the dining table so everyone can have dinner, and that was the kind of thing. So then she was like, well, dig deeper, why is that? And I was like, because I want to be the house where people come to. I want to be the stable place, where people can be. And she was like, okay, so what's your ideal day? And I kind of went through it, and reading a book, drinking coffee, spending time with him, going for a walk, having a roast dinner. Like, it was a lovely kind of, and in my head it was a Sunday, naturally. And and she was like, and why do you want that? And it kept coming back to the same thing, because if my cup is full and I'm surrounded by the ones that I love, and I'm content and I'm safe, then I can give. And that it just came back to the same thing over and over. I want to be able to give more. Spent a long time giving online for complete strangers who then turn into friends. But for this particular visualization, because it was a Sunday, it was about giving to my family.
Nice.
That's
so nice.
And I think really when it comes down to it, I do want my legacy. I do want to help 1 million people. That's never changed. I do want to help 1 million women, if I'm being more specific. That was always the main goal. And I don't think I'm too far off. I think last time we actually checked this, we were at 5,500,000. So I'm not far off. But that being said, when you come back to it, it's all for your people, right? It's all so that you can enjoy it for yourself, and that you can be around your people. And I don't know, I just had this, and I had a bit of a moment of it. I don't know whether you noticed, but I got a bit teary-eyed when we had poker night at my house.
Yeah, I did notice.
Did you?
Yeah, I did notice.
So Sandra, we ran a poker night at my home, and my best friends were there with their partners, and my fella was there, and it was like the first time that some of my friends had met him, and we were all drinking and playing poker, and Laura made a banging chili, didn't she?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so
food.
Tasty. She makes a good. She's a good cook, is our Laura. But yeah, it was amazing. And there was just laughter and drinks, and nobody really knew what they were doing in terms of poker. So we had a good time in terms of like trying to figure out what we were doing, and it was funny. I can't remember laughing as much as we laughed. I just felt like we were all taking the piss out of each other a bit as well. There was a bit of banter.
I still don't understand it.
And I just had a moment, and I looked around the table, and there are my best friends laughing and smiling in my home. I'm sat next to this lovely man who is hosting with me, entertaining my friends, making them laugh. And I just felt so happy. I just felt so content in that moment. All the possibilities of a happy future kind of opened up for me. Now, don't get me wrong, I know I'm going to be absolutely fine no matter what happens tomorrow. Like, I know I've got my own back. But there hasn't been a time, maybe ever, where I've felt that. And it was nice. Was it really obvious? Did I look like I was going to cry? Because I nearly did.
I only noticed because you and Emily had a little hug.
Oh yeah, we did.
And I looked
That's
over.
so cute.
And I realised what was happening. Well, I'm still trying to figure out how the hell I play poker. No idea.
Emily saw that I was starting to tear up, and she just put her hand on my knee and was like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "I'm really happy." And she was like, "Oh, yeah."
But I can well imagine, because it's not been that homely for you for the longest time.
Right.
Whilst you deserve it so, and to have, put so many things in place for you to experience that, and also for your subconscious to bring that into the future.
Yeah.
Whilst for the longest time, you were just happy to be here today, to look after the kids today.
Yeah.
Wishing for a good tomorrow, but not really sure. And now you can sort of stretch for decades, knowing that you're on your way to be that safe space, like forever, where they can come with their kids and the dogs and whomever. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it was really nice. And it was just one of those things that snuck up on me. It just snuck up on me. And also, I had a conversation with Laura because I didn't realise, but I'm internally programmed for there to be a problem.
Yeah.
Unless it's a girls' night. If it's just the girls, and the girls are going to the cinema, or the girls are going out for food, or the girls are going out for drinks and dancing, I know it's going to be fine, regardless. But I didn't realise that I was kind of default programmed to when it's partners as well, that there might be an issue. And Laura, me and Loops were talking about it, and she even admitted, she was like, it's even weird for me because even I've gotten conditioned to when it's one of your nights.
Yeah.
At some point there's going to be conflict. And there wasn't any conflict. We were just bantering and things, everything was just fine all night. It was just fine. And like, I'm not going to say some of the funny things that happened because I'm going to protect the integrity of our friends. But there was some funny things that happened, and we just laughed everything off and took care of each other.
Yeah.
And it was brilliant. And yeah, there was, what I get a lot from my friend Sandra is that I go, "Oh, this thing happened and it was wonderful." And they always look at me and go, "Dawn, that's how it's meant to be."
And for a large part, you make that happen.
Yeah.
Because you bring about that energy with you. You are giving, you are caring, you're bringing a great group of people together. And I'm just lucky that now in so many ways that you are supported and that you can just have the fun. Because I know what it's like when you're in a relationship to always be wary what's going to happen with your partner, whether it be a conflict between yourselves or for him to have a conflict with someone else or a combination. And it drains you.
Yeah.
It drains you so much. And now to not be in that situation, to have what should be the norm,
Yeah.
a good night out with partner and friends,
Yeah.
you bloody deserve that.
It's just so alien to me. Even my mum, she was like, so how was the night? Anything happen? I was like, anything like what? And she was like, everything all right? I was like, it was brilliant, Mum. At the end of the night, we went to bed and slept like a log because of the amount of whiskey we'd had to drink. That's what happened. It was fantastic. But everybody's so conditioned.
Yeah.
What was the drama? Where was the drama? There was none. It was just a really great time. And I can feel myself smiling and beaming when I talk to you about it. I can feel my face. Because no matter what, that memory is there now. We had that night. We've got that. It's such a privilege to have had that. And I'm so grateful for it.
It was good fun.
It was. And I can't wait till we do it again.
For more.
I know we've got more plans, haven't we? I mean,
Yeah.
it's so exciting. But yeah, I feel like we sometimes do focus on the wrong things, and we're thinking about, I need the big house because I want it to be Instagrammable or whatever, and that wasn't even a factor for me. Now I've been accused of that many times in my past, that it's all for the people online, it's all fake. You don't actually want it to experience stuff. You just want to look like you're better than everybody else.
It's not about that.
It's never been about
I
that.
am more happy in my little Peugeot than I was in my Range Rover.
Can I just say, I bloody loved your Range Rover, and yet I like the Peugeot more. I like
it didn't bring me happiness.
No,
but
you were stressed.
Yeah,
it was stressful.
It was stressful on the Range Rover, but a little Peugeot brings me more happiness than that did.
And it's like what we were saying earlier.
It's not about
it, is it? No. If you strip things back, who are you?
Yeah, exactly.
And we went to the car boot.
Yeah. I enjoyed doing that car boot,
right.
Even though we got rained on. It was good fun.
And I would go to a car boot and I would buy a dress from a car boot and I would wear a dress from a car boot.
I'm wearing jeans from a car boot right now.
Oh, of course you are.
And great jeans they are.
Yeah, absolutely
listeners can't see, but wonderful.
They cost me £1.
No way.
A whole £1.
No way.
From a car boot sale.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, how can, when it's real, we might look like we're having a right good time online, because we are. But what people think we're doing it for and what we're really doing it for are two completely different things.
Yeah.
Like stupid things like when we did the Taylor Swift TikTok a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
I had to try and explain to my mum why that was a business benefit, because she doesn't get it. And in the end, I had to just say to her, you know what, Mum? Our followers like to see us having fun. They like to see us being childlike and playful and tapping into joy and being, whimsical and just allowing ourselves that space, because they want to allow themselves that space. Where's the space for the silly? Where's the silly goose?
Everyone needs space for silly.
We need a little space for silly.
Of course we do.
And it's such an enriching process. And my mum was like, oh, right, okay, I understand.
I've got a big space for silly.
I think we have a giant space for silly. I think the three of us are great at being silly.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, but it's about allowing yourself to be silly, and it's also choosing when you want to showcase it, and choosing. And there's so many occasions where no pictures are taken, and those are truly at times the best, because I don't feel like I have to show the whole world everything all the time. Like, there's people who have their stories out almost 24/7, and I'm like, I just couldn't. I like the energy, I like the inspiration, if that's an inspirational thing to do anyway, but I just can't. There's times in which I mean, it's like with the moon cycle, when I'm a bit high, when it's almost full moon, I'm like, let's get out there and show people what I'm up to. And then there's the times where the moon closes, and so do I. And I don't want to be out there. I don't want to have to be visible every day because the online world dictates.
No, you've just got to lean into that comfortable zone that you feel and be authentic to yourself, you know. I this is why when I used to teach audience attraction, and it wasn't that long ago, but whenever I speak about it, it feels like it was ages ago. I used to talk about base content, didn't I? Because if you want the algorithms to see you as active, and that's important to you for sales, and I get it, then just have that base content going out so that match it, but you don't have to actually be involved.
No.
You know, and that works better. Alternatively, if you feel like you want to lean into the situation where you don't, then just don't. Just don't.
Do what makes you happy.
Yeah, do what makes you happy. I've recognised that I have a higher level of documentation requirement, and I also like to share things quite naturally. Like I'm a giver in terms of like I very rarely keep secrets about myself. Do you know what I mean? I tell everybody about what's going on with everything, pretty much, don't I? And that's great because I'm a heart on my sleeve type of girl. It feels good to me. It's also part of my neurodiversity that I don't have a personal self-preservance filter for privacy. And that's helped me on social because I felt very comfortable sharing things that lots of other people would never have shared.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I really love the autonomy of me choosing what I share and when I share it. What I didn't used to like about my previous relationship was somebody telling me that I couldn't share something that I wanted to because they didn't want me to share it. That used to piss me off.
That's not cool.
Like we had a deal once. I got a seat at a fancy restaurant. There was no tables available, and I managed to get a seat at the fancy restaurant. And the deal was that I would tell the Instagram world that I was there. And I wasn't allowed to post a picture of me at the restaurant, so I ended up posting a picture of him at the restaurant so that I fulfilled my duty as an influencer for the you know, but I wasn't allowed to be the face. Oh my god, it's just so difficult to navigate.
Bonkers, isn't it?
Bonkers. And you know, I'm not going to go into like the bad stuff to do with that particular relationship, but what I will say is the gratitude I hold now for the freedom to do exactly what I feel. That doesn't always mean like posting everything. That means I choose
what you want and when you want to do it.
Yeah, and I've had a few social media blackouts this year, haven't I? Where I've just not. The girls have covered what we need to cover for business. Yeah, great. But my personal storytelling, which can sometimes be very flowy, there's been the odd few times this year when I've just not wanted to share. There was a period of time when my Uncle Teddy passed and I needed some time. A period of time when the ex hard launched his new beau. That was a tricky 2 weeks. So I took some time.
Yeah, but you navigated through it.
I'm really proud of myself, the way I've navigated through it. I'm really proud of myself that I'm wishing and sending them nothing but absolute love and joy.
Yeah.
And that's genuine.
Yeah.
You know, some people may believe that I don't have the capacity for that because what they've been told about me is that I'm a raging, horrendous, ferocious bitch. But the truth of the matter is there's no hate. There's no space in my heart for hate.
No.
There never has been.
But now you're only accepting love.
I am.
And love is only what you're giving out.
It's the only currency that I currently accept, I'm afraid. Yeah, absolutely. Dealing love, hope and optimism.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's what we're dealing now. Well, thank you, ladies. That's
you.
been a nice 53 minutes and 46 seconds of chatty doodles. I've loved this conversation. I'm sure our listeners will enjoy it as well. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you. And thank you, Sandra, for being here. We adore you.
Thank you, Sandra.
It's so good to have you on. Sending massive love to all our listeners. Until next time.
Ta-ra.
Toodaloo. Thank you for listening.
Don't forget to follow our socials.
Join our free group and let us know what you'd like to hear about in the future.
Join us next time.
Love you. Bye.